like old DJing, the crossfader was like essential.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
People just like, ignore. Yeah, people ignore the crossfader.
Yeah.
Now it's literally I'm gonna take the lows out. And they just use the volume. So they'll just be like, okay, and then I just cut this because the 808's basically gonna do the same thing. Most of the drums, especially if you're playing hip hop, gonna do the same thing.
So
it's a cheat code, and then niggas have the pads now too. You know, where you could just put the sample.
Right.
So then it just turns into low key. You could just smash into the next record or do, you know. There's a lot of tricks now.
No, yeah, I guess there wasn't pads and stuff before, unless you was like making a beat or something.
Yeah.
Yo, G, they can't stop me from rapping.
You know. But now you could.
Even that, there used to be a rule like you never go above or below plus or minus. I want to say 6.
Really?
Yeah, but because it was like old equipment, it sounded crazy. It wasn't like now, like with digital, it kind of warps it. It sounds still kind of cool. So that's why you be hearing, you go to the club, niggas be playing songs way too fast.
Right.
They just be like, whatever. Like, yeah, that used to be like a no-no. Like, it's like, and like I said, I'm not like a.
How old are you?
No.
And before the crossfader, you know, you just had to go up and down with the volumes, like
that's like on the radio.
Yeah.
No, I'm only 32.
But it used to be bands in the club. I remember when it was a band.
But
I remember you come to the club.
bro, you gotta remember, like even my I mean, that's a real thing though. Like, so a lot of my friends are like old school DJs.
Okay.
So like from the scratching era, they're all over 45, 50. So like, they know how to like, nigga. I had a MTV My Super Sweet 16 back in the day.
You did?
Yeah.
No way, Sweet 16.
Yeah, because I used to be signed to Jermaine Dupri and like all that kind of stuff, like as an artist.
Okay,
so,
wait, where was your party?
Oh, it was at River East 21, the Lucky Strike in Chicago, because I'm from Chicago.
Okay,
so
okay.
City.
Got you.
But yeah, so guess who DJ'd my party though? Think of the most famous old school DJ you could think of right now, and it's hilarious because he just got that way since the pandemic.
D Nice?
Hell yeah.
But was D Nice like known as a DJ?
So D Nice was known as a DJ. So he's been putting in work in the field forever. But he was known as a DJ, but not to the point of how he's known now. Like the pandemic took him to a whole different level.
Yeah.
See, you know. So he was a DJ. So he was already DJing stuff for like Bill Clinton and like Obama and like all these people.
That's crazy.
But like even when I went to go meet him, like
somebody call up D Nice. Get this party up.
You know how niggas like when they like have you go meet the people. So even when I would go went to go meet him in New York, I'm just kind of like, okay, like I don't really know who this is. Like I'm 16, 15, 16, right?
Right,
so I'm like,
right.
All right, cool. Yeah, he's like, man, I DJ, for JD, blah blah, Bill Clinton. He's naming all these names. I'm like, oh, so this guy, he must be very good.
That's crazy.
Mind you, years later, like we're still homies and stuff, but like he's whole different stratosphere.
Did you go to school or were you just like?
I always was in and out. So like from kindergarten to 5th grade, I was in regular school. But I had my own TV show when I was like 7 too. So like I was coming out here. Yeah. I had this show called Guys Like Us.
Okay.
It came on UPN. Remember UPN?
Yes.
They got rid of it. It used to be UPN WB, and then they got rid of UPN, and then they made all the WB shows CW.
Guys Like Us.
Yeah, but basically it was Bumper Robinson, Chris Hardwick, and it was 2.5. It was 2.5 Men before 2.5 Men.
Okay.
And you know who created it?
Who?
Dan Schneider.
Get out of here. Okay. Uh-oh.
You can play some R. Kelly, I guess.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was actually a pretty damn good show, especially for like the network TV. Came on Monday nights, whatever. But yeah, I would go to school Monday through Friday.
Okay.
No, Monday through Thursday. Thursday night, they fly me out first class. Friday, I'd be out here, do the table read. Saturday, walk through. We'd film on Sunday.
Y'all would film on Sunday?
Yes.
That's sick.
Paying everybody.
That's another time.
Exactly.
That's another time.
Right at Culver Studios. And then I would go from there straight to the airport, be back in school on Monday. And I did that for 13 episodes.
Are you bummed that you didn't have social media then?
Bro. No, okay. I've had periods in my life that social. Okay, so I just mentioned the Sweet 16. So
Right,
that's
right.
That's later.
Let's just intro the episode first. Hold up. We got Maestro in the building. This is an Inconsistent Podcast with Rob Haze. Heck yeah, man.
Hey.
Too many gyms at once. I was like, yo, we didn't even start, but we kind of started.
My name is Dino.
Yeah, man.
Heck yeah. So wait. So if you had your own show at 7, when did you start acting? Were you like out the room like with a like script like yo, let me get a monologue off real quick.
So this is all the masterminding of Floyd Harrell, my father.
Okay.
So he was trying to sign me up for piano classes and music classes before I was even out of my mom's stomach. Like he was, my real name is Maestro.
Okay.
Yeah, like he was like I want him to be, my mom came up with the name, but it was like entertainment. Like he wanted me, and we're from Chicago. My dad's a electrician and plumber, you know what I mean? Like electrical engineer, and then my mom's a registered nurse. So like, nah, none of them, it ain't no, yeah.
How does he feel about plumber being used as a insult to old school basketball players?
They do that?
Yeah, they'll be like, man, they used to play against plumbers. And I'm like, yo, what? What about the plumbers? How they feel?
Well, in that time, they probably were plumbers during the day, and then they hooped at night. So what can you expect?
Make them less of an athlete, though?
What? Because
if they maintain a regular job and still play professional sports, how is that an argument that they're less of an athlete?
They were playing against bums
than a millionaire.
They were playing against bums. Listen, I have all the respect for my dad, but I don't think he can play against LeBron James.
Come on, man. I'm willing to argue.
And I don't think LeBron James can fix your damn toilet.
Come on.
So
let's talk about it.
You know what I mean?
Let's talk about it.
Everybody has their thing, and I always say this, everybody's being gotten somewhere. So you can think you're the smartest attorney or neurosurgeon in the world. Mm-hmm. All right, when you need your HVAC worked on.
Come on.
You're not so bright right now.
Who you going to call?
Ghostbusters.
Right.
What was I gonna say? But yeah, so we were talking about social media, bro. There's just been
you're a baby, and they're already plotting you. You know, being a music prodigy.
Yeah. Well, yes, and it wasn't. Well, yeah, music was number one, and then when I started piano lessons, all that kind of stuff, like 2, 3, like
at 2.
Yeah, my dad was like.
So you could read music before you could read the ABCs. Like you're playing the ABCs on the piano.
I started reading music later, but yes, it was. They were very intent on like he's gonna be well rounded in this. So he was okay. I was playing classical music on my mom's stomach. You know, this is the '90s, so like you know, niggas ain't doing that.
Right, right.
So just doing a whole lot of things to prepare me. And then when I got about 3-4 years old, people were like, "Oh, like you know, your kid you start to see what they're really gonna look like." Kind of. Mm-hmm. People would be like, "Oh, you have a cute kid. He should do commercials. He should blah blah blah," all that kind of stuff. And so my parents were like, he should." And so then they started. I basically got my first agency when I was like, and everywhere he went, they were like, "We don't take him that young." That was like the number one thing he would hear. But like, no,
wow,
he's no, I'm not here for none of that. We're here to do that. I'm getting him in somewhere. Like, bunch of no's, but when we got yeses, they were big. And so, about 4, I got my first agency. Started doing a lot of print work.
What?
Yeah, doing a lot of commercials. Like do you remember even like the Like Mike, if I could be like. Yeah, I'm the kid playing basketball with Michael Jordan.
Get out of here. Bum, 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 bum. That's you? Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, and I'm saying, sometimes I dream. And once again, imagine that, like, amazing experience. I did that at, like, 6. And mind you,
and that's an iconic commercial.
And I'm from the south side of Chicago.
Wait, so that's the other thing I was going to ask. Was everybody from Chicago?
That I don't know.
I
don't know
you
about.
Were 4.
Yeah, because I was saying.
Hey, take us back to when you were 4. What was it like on set? Like, what was y'all talking about?
No, and so that was kind of what spearheaded like that commercial. I had done a lot of other things, like I was performing around Chicago doing stuff, but like that was something that really, obviously pushed things forward.
That played for years.
Yeah, and so I went to that '98 All-Star game where it was Kobe and Jordan. Like they had me out
in
there.
Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I was there. Me and my dad, and then trying to think what else. Yeah, but even with that commercial.
Come on, man.
But even
you were watching The Last Dance, like, man, that's exactly how it went. That's how I remember it. Yeah. Meanwhile, the rest of us was like, man, we was watching NBC, man. It was crazy.
Yeah, no, it's pretty crazy, man. Unfortunately, I mean, a lot of that stuff you don't remember, but you remember the highlights of it.
Yeah,
and you remember so that spearheaded me into doing like when we're talking about, you're like, how old are you? That spearheaded me into doing like Jay Leno and stuff. So I did like Jay Leno like 6 times before I was 10. Yeah. So I would go on Jay Leno and I'd perform and I'd sing, but I first came on because of the commercial, right?
Yeah.
And so then Jay took a liking to me.
Jay Leno used to have kids.
Yes.
Like he had what's the smallest Lawrence brother and stuff on there? Like he would have children on there that were like talented.
But see, here's the crazy part. He did it less than who I also did, Maury. So Maury used to do most talented kid under 12, and that was like a thing. Like before he was only doing the "you are not the father." Like he used to actually have.
I'm a bad kid. I'm going to boot camp.
So what's crazy is I was on Maury for one reason, and then Cash Me Outside type people are on there for other reasons, and they had the internet though.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah. So even when I would like do Maury and all that kind of stuff, I would go perform. I used to do. My dad was really smart. He had me doing like I would sing like Temptation songs or like Elvis Presley songs, Jackie Wilson, like things that Michael Jackson adjacent, but we not doing Michael Jackson. Because every little black kid doing Michael Jackson. Like, that's like, come on.
Right.
Like,
but you doing the science because Michael Jackson and
did
he's
it from all
obsessed with Jackie Wilson, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so my pops had figured that out, so I would go on there and do all that, and, you pick the show on. Bro, all these songs. Like, and you got to imagine, as a 7-year-old, like, people are like, this is hilarious.
Yeah. They're like, that's great. What you know about that?
There you go.
What you know about Jackie Wilson?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's good, clean fun for late night TV or early. So, that worked out. That's why I kept coming on Jay Leno's singing different songs. Even when I didn't necessarily have a project, he'd bring me on, which was really cool. And then that spearheaded, the first few appearances spearheaded them reaching out. I don't know if it was Dan Schneider exactly or UPN, but them reaching out and being like, hey, we want to like create a show for him. And like
that's
something
crazy.
Yeah. Because that was how you did it then. You do the late night stuff and then you get the,
It's not like that now.
Who are you telling?
The phone is dry after late night now.
Man, no one
It's just
cares.
people who are like, oh man, you up there? Well, no, it was Beatlemania when I went back to my mom's church.
Really?
I was like signing programs and stuff.
Well,
was
older
pretty
people
crazy.
still care and they understand.
Yeah.
But I think the whole thing is the people who do late night shows, it's been so co-opted by like one way of thinking. And the internet is so much more. You can be actually funny because you don't have restrictions on what you can say. You can be you can actually have an opinion about something. Like you have to be Dave Chappelle to say what you feel on SNL.
Yeah. Well, and part of it is the process. Part of it is like Chappelle can comment on the past couple weeks where someone else, it's like by the time they get there, they've probably crafted something that's like, I don't know when it's going to be. I don't know when they're going to
Facts. And there you go.
Yeah,
and that's another thing, too. And on top of that, we just don't like you enough or know you enough or think you're marketable enough to risk what we got going on over here for your view. The thoughts and the views of 20th Century Fox do not reflect.
Right.
Like, that, and I get it, but that also makes, same with like mainstream media. It's like why more people are going to, podcasts and things like that because these, you can't say anything bad about Coca-Cola if Coca-Cola funds your show.
Right.
That'd be stupid. So,
Man. Yeah. All that is 7.
Imagine. This is my thought process.
So like, is there any of the stuff we hear about, the stuff we're afraid of the then they spend all my checks and I was just 9 o'clock. I was smoking a cigarette outside like, man, that UPN money gone.
A lot of that stuff. A lot of that should be bad parents, man.
Okay.
And I people always get in their feelings when you're like, oh, well, you can't say it's bad. No, it's pretty poor parenting. Like my parent, for example, I know my parents, both of them, they didn't get into this for them. They got into it because they were like, okay, we know that he's on the south side of Chicago. He's not going to be a hooper. Like neither one of us are tall. He's not gonna be. But what's something
From the womb they knew
Yeah,
that? They're like, bro, that ain't no hooping belly right there.
But no, it's just
call the piano
my
lessons
dad's
right
5'9".
there.
My dad's 5'9", and my mom's. My dad might be 5'8", 5'9". My mom's like 5'4". It's not like if it would have came out 6'2", 6'3", my dad probably would have been like, "What's going on?"
He don't need no Gatorade commercial. He gonna be beating Michael Jordan. He don't need that. Yeah.
Hey, and that's the thing. How many people were hoopers never got that situation with Michael Jordan? And that's like it was a very good angle, and and it was something that kept me busy, kept me always. I was always in piano lessons, vocal lessons, doing some traveling, doing shows. So it kept me in a way sheltered too. So I wasn't outside, especially in
Were
Chicago.
you good? Were you like were you did you behave? Were you like super disciplined?
Yeah.
Because I always think, like, I expressed when I was a child, when I was 4, I expressed interest in, like, I want to act. I want to do that.
Oh, wow.
But then I always used to think, man, maybe I was too bad. Maybe they didn't want me in that world.
Well, I mean, it comes down to, like, how strict, and this is why I also say it's tough with the parenting, because, like, someone has to take you to all this stuff. Someone has to sit on set.
Right.
So it really comes down to, can you control your kid at that point if you're going to be there, or are you going to actually be active? And most parents, like, which this isn't bad parent, they can't afford to do it.
That's true.
You know what I mean? I have to go, and especially if you don't have a 2-parent household, like, I can't take all this time off when I have to be at work to go do this, which is a short, I'm not really getting paid for this. And that's if a good parent's not trying to take your money.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
and at that point, it's pre-internet. You go to the library, they're like, how to become an actor is checked out. I'm sorry, somebody stole that book. we not getting it back.
Literally. And it's like, damn, bro. Like, yeah, it's such a different time. So you really had to, my dad just figured it out as we went. And then as we went, I learned along the way as well. And so you see the kids who, it didn't pan out as well, but most of the time it was maybe their parents were doing it for themselves.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Or, hey, things were really tough. Like, both my parents had professions. It wasn't about that. Whereas, like, things were tough. Money to keep these lights on, and, it is what it is. A little absentee. Okay, well, you got your money. You figure it out. Which, like, it's a lot of these things that can happen. Or just, hey, I mean, you kind of saw that with the quiet on set thing. It was like, oh, hey, well, I couldn't be there, so we're gonna have Brian take you to the, and that's the thing too. It was like when my parents was like, you're never gonna be around. No, like, if you saw Maestro, you saw his father. If you saw like, it was, but he wasn't all in everybody's face like, oh, no, it was like he would be right outside this door and you'd never know it, but you walk out that door, what's going on? Like, there's always a, so it's just it's different, man. By the way, that Brian Peck guy who was on that he was in 2 episodes of my show too.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
That was crazy that they let him be the pickle man on all that.
He was Mr. Happy Pants, the clown on my show.
No.
Yes.
No.
This is real.
No.
Maestro gets a gold card. That was the episode.
Oh, my God.
And I order a clown, and it's him.
Mr. Happy Pants?
Mr. Happy Pants.
No, man. Who wrote that?
Dan.
God,
they were boys, though. That's his man's,
That's his man's. My man, he came up with Happy Pants. I was like, man, that's funny.
That's funny because remember,
that's the thing, but it probably was funny.
Yeah,
if I heard that as a kid, I'm like, oh man, that's
Mr. Happy Pants.
Yeah.
I mean, he got it right with those shows. Like, that's one thing I would say. Like, he understood making those, those cookie cutter, especially on Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
But, like, he understood how to make those shows and, like, seamlessly. It's the same as, like, how you have those Jerry Bruckheimers or, like, Dick Wolf. Like, they know how to make those SVUs and those, like, man.
You need an explosion right there. All right, thanks, Jerry.
Yeah, literally. You know where we should do this? San Diego.
Right.
Man. Could you imagine just having something where you could just take to a new city? And just the same show?
Wait, who produced
San
all them
Diego PD.
Chicago shows? And it's like Chicago Fire,
Chicago PD,
Chicago.
Who does that one?
Yeah,
I don't
know
somebody,
who. Oh, we got one rule on the podcast.
Oh,
We
no,
don't
I was
look
gonna
anything up.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
Yeah. That's illegal here. So
misinformation goes rampant.
Yeah, but they can't get mad because they know the rule.
Fair.
So they know like either we know it or we're making it up.
Fair. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know the person's name, and I would butcher it. Shout out to my boy Leroyce. Leroyce though, he's on Chicago PD.
Okay. Yeah. I remember one time I was watching Chicago PD, and one of the gangs had on like powder blue, and the other gang had on orange, and I was like, they just picked whatever colors they had at the store. I ain't never seen no all
They're probably like, we
construction worker looking gang. Like they orange like trucker hats, orange like t-shirts, orange bandanas. I was like, where have you seen this?
It seems counterproductive.
Yeah.
Seems like you're very loud.
Yeah,
the police would notice you very quickly.
Yeah. Hey, caution. No, that's not caution. That's a gang right there.
Caution. Caution, motherfucker. That's funny. Oh, man. I'm not going to lie. I was alarmed at how many gunshot sounds I heard yesterday watching the Juneteenth
those were
celebration.
fireworks. Those were fireworks.
No, the Juneteenth celebration at the Kia Forum.
Yeah, those are those.
Yeah, they're fireworks.
Yeah.
That's what the DJs have.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe today.
Yeah, when you're watching this, we're in the aftermath of the
aftermath
of the
yikes.
No pun intended of the Kendrick Lamar in Friends pop-up show. Were you there?
No, I didn't go.
I didn't go
My
either.
friend
I watched it on
invited
Amazon.
Me. Yeah, my friend invited me while I was watching it on Amazon. It was I was at a friend's barbecue, and they were like, "Oh yeah, it's coming on." So
yeah,
it was on.
Same.
Yeah,
it was fun to watch at a barbecue with some LA people to explain to me what I'm seeing.
Yeah, thank you. A lot of the people did maybe a sentence or two of their own songs.
Yeah.
And then the rest was just them walking around like,
yeah.
And then I'm gonna show you.
Yeah,
bitch. And I'm just like, okay.
But the posture was there. The demeanor was there. You know, it was you know, DJ Head say West Coast for everything. He's bringing out all these different people. Yeah, it was wild.
Yeah, the latter half though was much more performers. You got
DJ
Dre,
Mustard. It was like, oh, these are the
that
people I know.
That was the crossover.
Yeah.
The first half, I was like, all right, respect. I'm glad y'all all got y'all shot. Shout out to Kendrick for giving niggas a platform.
Right.
You know what I mean? But
also, like, man, they had Steve Lacy after all them gangbangers. That was crazy.
That was pretty wild.
That was wild. Steve Lacy, no shades.
But it's also still Los Angeles. It's still LA, bro.
Yeah,
so that means there's people who understand all of it.
When did you leave Chicago?
I left Chicago, a couple of times in between. So when I was 12, that's when I moved down to Atlanta. And I was lived down there for like.
What part of Atlanta? That's where I'm from.
I was living in Buck. I was living with JD.
Oh,
so I was
excuse
living in
me.
Yeah. Do you know that high rise park place on Peachtree?
I probably passed it.
Yeah.
I probably like cursed it out. You know, like, man, these people got money.
Elton John lived in there.
Yeah. My boy E was up there. I didn't even know my boy E was up there. Man, circle of life, dog. Elton was in there.
You know what's crazy? Looking back on it, I did that because right before I went to Atlanta, I had done The Lion King in Chicago.
Okay.
And it's like ironic now that I never.
He was like, "Yo, Elton, I play the piano too, dog."
Yeah, no, I never saw him
since birth.
This nigga had when you got off on his floor, it was just like Versace wallpaper, but it was like that, that like dark looking, like it was. Yeah, but it was just like
I'm
that,
saying,
that
I
line.
Relate. I can't relate, but the Versace wallpaper for sure. Look like one of Tupac shirts, but on the wall.
Basically, yes, but it looks very like, okay, like very dark.
Oh, this is not my flow.
But it's that.
Yeah,
but
let me get back on the elevator.
But it's all literally. That's how it feels. And then he had like gold chairs, but mind you, this is just the hallway. This isn't like he has doors still to get into his place. This is just how he decked out his hallway, which was like crazy. But yeah, I wasn't supposed to stop there. I just I got to see what's going on. But yeah, so I was living there for a little bit, but so I spent a year out there, year and a half, something like that, and then then I also moved again when I was 14 because that's when I did The Wire. So
Okay.
I moved to Baltimore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we was gonna get there. you
Yeah,
know?
well, I'm just explaining.
Yeah, no.
So I've moved from Chicago a few times, but yeah, I officially moved to Los Angeles when I was 17, going on 18. So June 2009.
So from like the Tonight Show is like the pinnacle of, mainstream entertainment, and then The Wire is like the biggest, hood show of all time. So how are things different after you're on The Wire?
It was actually dope because one thing I'll always say about my career has been I've been fortunate, even through like all the ups or downs or when I've been able to reinvent myself a lot of times.
Okay.
So, if the maestro who was, doing Jay Leno and doing the Tonight Show and all that kind of stuff, if he would have kept going, like say the TV show and all, I would never be able to do anything like The Wire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was a whole different kid. I had a part in my head. I was like, a whole different look. Then I moved, I did The Lion King, did all this stuff, and then I moved to Atlanta. And that was the first time I was in I was around rappers all day. I was around JD, I was around Bow Wow, I was around, you know what I mean? JD was with Janet, so I was around her. Like, we were flying all, back and forth to different places.
Crazy.
But, all in between that, you're popping up on Lil Jon. You're popping up, they going to Magic City. So all the niggas who come so you're seeing things and getting.
And you're 12?
Yeah. I'm not going in the clubs, but it's I sat outside the Pink Pony many a day. Just in the car with the driver.
Yeah. Shout out to the Pink Pony.
Yeah. I heard it's gone now.
Yeah,
Rest in peace to the Pink Pony.
Yeah, rest in peace to the Pink Pony.
Never stepped foot in the door, but
yeah.
I saw that sign.
I mean, it depends. It's an acquired taste, I don't know if everybody.
It's not Magic City.
It's not Magic City.
It's not Magic City.
Yeah. Some would say it's the antithesis. It depends on how you look at life,
It's the exact opposite. What was I gonna say? But so that was kind of, in a way, that was the first time I ever got braids because my parents never let me get braids.
Okay,
I had a fro.
You gotta have braids if you're next to Bow Wow every day, though.
And there you.
That's literally
that's what it was.
I had braids at that time. There's no visual evidence of my braids having parts in that time. Like every picture, every time a camera was around, my new growth was crazy. Braids fuzzy as hell. You can't really tell in that disposable camera that I really had braids. It looks like I got a shag in any picture of me with braids.
I could see you as that kid. I could see you as that kid with the braids, though.
Because I had braids, but I also played football. So you take that helmet off one time, and then it's like they're not the same.
Yeah, and you didn't probably wrap your head every time before you didn't wear the cap every time.
I did, but it was the braid. My hair probably wasn't long enough for all that activity.
Oh, so your shit was stopping somewhere.
Yeah. Like they would braid it, and it would come down, and then the minute they stopped braiding,
curl up,
be right back on the back of my neck.
Yeah. Okay. So you had the struggle braids. So I had my hair was I wanted my hair to be as long, because Bow Wow had super long braids.
Right.
I was able to get mine to here before I ever actually cut them. But yeah, so I was in that era where that's what I was doing. That's what I was around. So then coming back from that, I got sent back home for being bad, whatever, just being annoying, basically. And then, one of the first auditions I walked into was for The Wire.
Wow.
And I hadn't done television since I had done The Lion King, which was end of 6th grade. 7th grade, 7th grade I was in Atlanta. No, 7th grade 7th grade I was in Atlanta, and then 8th grade, somewhere around there.
So were you signed as a singer?
Yeah, singer, basically like a Baby John Legend. That was the thought process. Yeah.
So wait, I mean, did you have any songs with So? Did you have any stuff with Jagged Edge or
they were around a lot, but I didn't have
Tat Tat or anybody?
No. So the funny thing is, we basically started doing the project. Then I got sent back home, Then I got The Wire.
You got sent home. What did you do?
Nothing in particular, just being annoying. You know, like hanging out about every day, just annoying JD. Basically, also like, okay, we're not working all the time right now, so he can go back home. And then I get The Wire, so then I move to Baltimore. And then it's also like, okay, now he has some shit going on once that's about to drop. So then that's where the Sweet 16 comes in. So then I come back to Atlanta.
Okay.
And then we start working actively on the project. Like even, do you know who PJ Morton is?
Yeah.
Yeah, PJ Morton was the one writing songs for my project.
Get out of here.
Yeah, and that's before he was PJ.
Right.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, it's amazing to just see how everybody.
Man.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
At the time, when I was first down there when I was 12, you know who was interning for JD?
Who?
Scooter Braun.
Okay, Scooter Braun went to Emory. So, yeah, that makes sense.
Yep. And
Yeah.
Crazy. You just see how all these people just.
He's retired now.
Yeah,
he's made so much money that he's like, you know what, I'm done.
I don't need this shit.
I'm done. I own the original Taylor Swift recordings that you guys love, and I'm out.
Yeah. and he's like part owners of like with the BTS thing too. So like he's fine. He's
like the K-pop BTS, not behind the scenes, but like okay, smooth like butter.
Yes. He's good. He's more than good.
Hey, shout out to Scooter. Come by the pod anytime, man. If you wanna, you know, anything you wanna do with the inconsistent pod, you know.
I love like once the niggas make that much money, it turns into like whatever you see in your Scooter, in your mind's eye, you know.
Hey man,
we could do whatever. Like I'm just like, you know.
I'm just saying, you know, like whatever guidance you see, you know, we'd appreciate it over here.
Yeah. That's funny. But yeah, so that was the whole that's how.
How do you stay sane in that time? How you not like, yo, I should be Vincent Chase, man. Like I should be.
There's no like there's no internet.
Where my turtle at?
There's no internet.
There's no internet.
That's probably what saved me.
Got you. So the moments where you like, dog, man, JD, the single's supposed to be coming out.
Well, you know what else it is? I think
I'm on fire right now.
So here's I'm on fire. So here's the funny thing. Things like that would put me in positions where, like, I remember I started producing, like, being in that situation where we weren't dropping any music, or I'm waiting for him to be done playing 2K to want to do something. I started realizing, like, oh, you know what? I see Bow Wow waiting around for records. I see Usher waiting around for records. I see myself waiting around for records. I want to learn how to produce. And that's when I started, like, producing and making music and doing, like, on that end. Because it was basically like, okay, I know how to sing. I know how to play instruments.
Right.
Why don't I learn how to produce and do the other half of it? You know, so it's like everything, when I would have those situations, I always looked at it as instead of being like, man, why won't you help me? It's like, you have, okay, yeah, you're right. It's not your responsibility to help me. It's my responsibility to figure out, I'm here for something. I'm here to learn something. So even at that age, I didn't fully get that, but I still noticed. I was like, I want to I gotta give me a drum machine. I gotta get me and then I started doing that, and like, you know, since then I've like done, you know, music for like sync projects and television shows and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like I've used it. I also made dance music for a while.
Okay.
Like, do you know dance DJs a little bit?
Probably not. Maybe.
You ever heard of Tiesto?
I've heard of Tiesto.
Okay, so like I've done stuff on like Tiesto albums and all that kind of stuff.
Dope.
But like, just saying all that kind of stuff, it gave me the opportunity to learn, like, and be around, like, you know, I'm in the studio. It's not for me, but I'm in the studio with Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis. I'm in the studio with, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we're just hooping, and then they're in the studio, and I'm there. When they started working on the Confessions album, I'm like there watching them, like, basically like have the conversations that mold into that. Like, I hear references.
Incredible.
Yeah, like,
because I hear them talk about like how their stuff with Janet started with conversations, and then that's how they make. And that's
how they make the records. Yeah,
and it makes sense. Like when you listen to like any Heartbreak or like anything that they do, it's like, oh yeah, I could see how these songs feel like it's coming from the artist.
Exactly.
You know?
And it's because of those conversations, like that JD and Usher would just, you know, Usher would just be around for like weeks on weeks on weeks, like at the studio, and it'd just be like they having conversations. They don't, and mind you, there's probably other going to the club. There's probably other bond, and they're having conversations I'm not privy to, but still, I'm seeing the broad strokes of like this is how this is basically getting done, and then those are how you get those stories that are parts of Usher, parts of JD, but they make perfect songs.
It took me a long time. I had a tweet that did pretty well because I realized like later that like, oh yeah, is a story.
Yeah, it is.
Because like in my head it was just like stuff to get on the radio. It wasn't like, oh, this song is storytelling.
Right.
And then in me explaining the story and explaining that it's really like it is a confession, and it's the like this is how the cheating started with this girl in the club, and it's like this opens up the story of the album, which is a story.
Right.
And then there was some people like, oh my God. And then there was other people like, duh.
Right.
There's other people like, man, I been knew that, dog. I been knew that.
See, I never put that together because I've always realized that is a story.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say it's one of the greatest stories, but I'm saying the song,
right?
Yes, like that song is bulletproof.
It's a banger.
Yeah, it's a banger.
Beat,
but I mean, like,
and it was, for us in Atlanta, it was like, oh man, like this is like our like we're here, we have arrived.
Right. But and when you compare that to like the story of a Let It Burn or like
sure.
That's what I'm saying. The story is better on those, but like is it's all the things you want together in one, and then the fact that it does relate to the album like that, like I never thought of that, and that's
it's crazy.
That's genius.
Because in another context, you could be like, well, that's just the smash. That doesn't have to relate to the story. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that it does, it's like a little added bonus, and it's like, oh, its placement on the album is because where it relates to the story. Yeah,
no, 100%.
But like normally your big hit would go early in the album anyway,
and
so
no one
it makes
cares.
sense.
Yeah.
So
but I feel like that's the beginning of the end of people caring as much about projects, though, too. Like
a little bit, because the downloading gets crazy after that, and then after that the Rhapsodies and the YouTubes of the world and the streaming comes, and then
you have to put your number one song first because that is how you stream better. Like it's
that's
just
how you get numbers.
It would be stupid to do it any other way, which is like unfortunate because it isn't. You could have really cool like artistry or artist integrity, but it's like, but no one cares. We need the view, we need the click, we need that now.
My favorite era of soul music is like the early 70s.
I agree,
because it's all stories. It's all like storytelling, and it's like, oh, these not only are these stories, but it's like the trick was to have like a story that was a little different.
Bill Withers is all stories.
Yeah,
bro.
the Temptations,
stories.
Betty White. Like the
Betty,
cleanup woman.
Betty White.
Yeah,
which one?
I'm
thinking of Betty White, the actress.
Oh no, Betty Wright. Betty Wright.
Right.
Yeah. Betty Wright from.
What was it? I definitely probably have heard the song.
No, she's got and you probably heard this beat used so much.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, yeah.
But like this song is crazy. It's basically like I ain't treat my man right, and then this woman stole it. Yeah. I thought this song was about a maid for a long time.
Yeah, I know this record.
Yeah, so basically, I was making it easy for the cleanup woman. I was out here. Hey, I wasn't holding it down at the house. Here come the cleanup woman, just picking up my rebounds. You know
was
what
out
I'm
by
saying?
10.
She can't pull him just off the regular, but she doing cleanup.
Right, right. That's funny.
Yeah,
that's funny. But yeah, I like that. I like Sliding Family Stone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the early 70s was
integral.
great. I I
like the late 70s too, but for different reasons.
I was even going to take it past there. I was going to say I even love the 80s, but I do feel like the 80s is where we begin to muddle things.
Yeah, so okay. I like the 80s because it's people who grew up playing instruments using computers,
And
right?
synthesizers
And
all,
synthesizers.
yeah.
But it is the beginning of
Where we are
man,
now.
it's a drum on this button right here. I can just hit that.
There you go.
And we
Thank
good.
you.
You know,
Yeah.
it's also the early drum machine, the early of like, man, they gonna replace the drummer anyway. You know, just hit that button.
Literally, like, because
Mhm.
even myself, like, I love the old school MPCs. Like, I collect like MPCs and like
Okay.
old synthesizers, all that kind of stuff. Like, I'm into that stuff. But yeah, I mean, once even the '90s, like, as much as I love Dilla and I love the Kanye sample chops and I love
Mhm.
all that stuff. Like,
Facts.
but all of these things, when you just look at them in a timeline, you're like, oh damn! So the '80s was the beginning of the end.
Yeah.
And then the '90s was like, oh, people still innovating and doing cool things because they still know music, but it's
and they got to win over these people that grew up on the 70s and
exactly.
80s. Yeah.
But they're pulling from the '70s and '80s because it's just around the corner.
It's just around the corner.
Just back, it was a little. My mom was. You think of it that way, like people who were maybe 20 in the '90s.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, my mom though was like just living in that era. And
The distance between the Humpty Dance and Let's Play House, 10 years. Those songs are 10 years apart.
Wow.
That's like now if you had a huge hit and you sampled Fetty Wap, Dirty Sprite 2. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, that's
like,
what people are
like
doing.
now we complain when they take a 20-year-old song. We be like, man, I ain't ready for y'all to take Grills by Nelly. Y'all can't.
Because you know why,
Come on,
though?
y'all don't know nothing about that.
Here's the difference, though. This is, you know why? Because at least then, Kanye was flipping it, changing it, adding hip hop drums.
Right.
Nigga, now they're just literally adding an 808. They're just adding,
Well, yeah.
and they're using the exact same beat.
When Diddy would sample like Bowie and Miami Sound Machine,
Mm-hmm.
all that stuff was not made for us. And they turned it and
Thank
made
you.
it into our thing.
Yeah.
Now what they're doing is taking a thing that worked
Yes.
and then doing it again. It's like, all right, Freak a Leak.
Let's
rap
do
on
it
the-
again.
Let's rap on the Freak a Leak beat.
Like,
Yeah.
what? Yeah, I know you heard that at the Kendrick thing, right?
I heard it.
Yes. And I was like, you
I'm
changed
surrounded by
nothing.
people. I can't say anything, but
This
just
is
know
nonsense.
I'm thinking about Petey Pablo right now.
Gunk, gunk,
Yeah.
gunk. And then they also did it with that's my type, nigga. That's my type.
Yeah,
So it's just like,
yeah.
so we're just gonna 4 people are gonna use the same sample,
Sweetie is the queen of like rehashing a hit.
and I get it. It's same with
Yeah.
the Lotto one. I wasn't mad. Big Energy. Like I wasn't mad at like.
Well, Lotto's so young. She like this song came out before I was born. I don't remember Fantasy. I don't remember ODB. I don't remember none of that. I was a baby, you know.
Right. I mean, I think it's like once again. I mean, Prince called it right. He said we're gonna get in an era where people are gonna be sampling the sample, and I mean, and we're there. So,
Mhm. You sounded like Prince a little bit when you said that.
yeah,
We're gonna get into the era where we're sampling.
we're
the sample.
sampling the sample. I'm not for that. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's things are inevitable. I think the barrier to entry has gotten very low.
Mm-hmm.
And AI is going to make that even lower. And I we'll see how much people really care about the arts.
We gotta have more people like you. We gotta have more people that start playing instruments from the womb. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but no one wants to do that now because there's easier ways to do it, and nobody wants to invest that much money.
Right. But what I'm saying is, when you listen to an old school song, the reason it hits so hard is because the person on the bass lived
Facts.
for the bass,
And
the person on the drums lived for the drums.
The horn
You know
player
what I'm
lived
saying?
for the yeah. But see, that's the problem now too. It's like, we're in an Amazon generation, right? We're in an Uber generation. Like, like no one takes pride in being a chauffeur anymore. It's like they feel like anybody can do it. Like I'm just saying that in a sense of like,
Yes.
This is where things are coming. So if that's where it's going, even think about when you go to your, a local restaurant, like something that's not, 5-star or whatever. It's like, yeah, people don't act like they're like excited to serve you. They're like, no, I don't make enough here, and rightfully so. I don't make enough here. I don't really care. Nah, this is only to fund my other business because I have an Instagram page that says I have another business, and that's that's where we live. So certain people are doing it, and they are making it happen, and they have a lot of hustles, and they're actually, but the fact that anyone can do it, they can create an Instagram page and say that they're doing it, or a Twitter account and say that, yeah, well, I mean, you know, this is just my side hustle, but what I really do is, well, no, what you really do is what I'm watching you do.
Right.
But everybody doesn't understand that. And they don't want to put the hours
true.
in.
I've never gotten a car service and a person like love doing it. You know what I'm
see,
saying?
I have.
I like they took me to the Late Show and the dude cursed the lady out at the
what year was this?
At the gate.
What year was this?
This was March 2020. I got in right at the buzzer. Yeah, the next week, no audience. The week after that, Corden had a hoodie on. I was like, yeah, we in a different time.
Under the door,
yeah, I'm from the past now. I didn't even get none of the love from that one.
Man, that's crazy. But see, that's my point. It's a different time. Like I remember people, even when I was younger, picking me up and it being like, they love their job. Man, I got two.
Right.
When we used to come out here, we used to have this. Well, not we. Jermaine had this driver named Bobby Earl, and he used to have the satellite dish on top of what was it, an Escalade or the Yukon Denali? Like real elite shit for the time. We had the PlayStation 2 in the back with NCAA 2004, like real elite shit. So he would drive us around, and man, Bobby Earl loved his job. Like, man, you know, I get you guys come on out and blah blah. All the people I know. There's another guy named Ian who we had in Atlanta. Loved his job. Was always on it. Super polite. He don't even do that shit no more.
Right.
Yeah. And that's my point. It's like you have to evolve. Like it's not if you're still doing chauffeuring services in this era, odds are, unless you really have your business sold up, it's going to what's those called, BLS or all these like corporations. Like everything's so corporate. There's no more like, I got my side business and so it's cool. Like, no, your side business is Uber now.
Right.
Like, you know, it's insane.
Were you at Bow Wow's birthday All-Star Atlanta 2003 at Cascade Skating Rink?
No.
Okay.
I didn't go to that.
All right.
2003. Yeah, nah. I didn't. Nah,
My bad.
Were you there?
No, I wasn't. My sister got to go. My dad got like someone gave him a hookup. He had a chauffeur's license for a little while. He was in that world.
Okay.
Somebody gave him a hookup. My sister got to go. I didn't get to go. So
man. I'm all right, though.
I'm cool, you know what I'm saying? I'm cool.
It don't even matter now.
Like,
you know what I'm
saying? I don't need to go to Bow Wow's birthday party or nothing, man. You know what I'm saying? It's straight over here.
It's hilarious.
Maestro, what's your favorite color sky?
Favorite color sky?
Mm-hmm.
I would assume blue.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, well, I would just because I feel like if you got gray skies, that's not too good. I mean, it could be nice. Like, I like rainy days sometimes, but
okay.
But you know, do we like rainy days in life? Not necessarily. So,
no.
I just don't know how deep you're going with this question.
As deep as you want to go.
Pause.
I don't really play the pause game. I'm secure. You know what I'm saying?
I just like.
I don't really.
I enjoy the game.
No, it's a fun game.
It's the ping pong of it all.
Yeah. But I feel like once I get into that territory, then it get, you know, like I say a lot of stuff that could.
I get you.
I would lose the pause game a lot,
yeah.
but I know my life. You know what I'm saying?
But
like
I
was there the whole time. So you know what I'm saying. But at the same time, I don't. Yeah. I don't,
fair.
Right. It's wild because sometimes I'll say I don't play the pause game, and then people still hit me with it a bunch of times.
You know what it is? It's literally like a like
it is.
Yeah, it's nothing.
It is.
That's why I guess the New York niggas have gotten tired of people not playing with them. So they get, hey yo, and then that way I don't need a response. Hey yo, yeah.
You can't say "ayo" is homophobic. It's barely words.
That's what I mean.
Hey
yo,
yeah.
You're not getting me on that. Not getting me on that one.
Yeah.
No, it's fair. They figured it out.
Mm-hmm.
No homo was whoa.
No homo.
That was like whoa.
That was the time.
Stop
that
it.
was the time.
Yeah.
What's wild is pause predates No Homo, and then No Homo took over.
It was Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
Lil Wayne said no homo, and everybody was like,
Lil Wayne
no
appropriated
homo.
New York. He wanted to be a New Yorker for a couple years,
Well, they
but
say
that was how he got to the top.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I get these if I adopt New York slang
You have to.
and put my arm around Jewels, they will actually pay attention to what I'm doing.
If I do a mixtape with Joel,
Yeah.
damn, I never thought of it like that. That's
Because,
so true.
Like Lil Wayne isn't that much different in 06 than he is in like 04.
Facts.
It's just that like
Facts.
us in the South were like, this is the greatest thing ever. This man's going in the booth. They're playing every song on the radio. He's doing it all in one thing.
Yeah.
And now he has like, he's doing the same thing in 06. It's just like now he's on the cover of Vibe. And he shot a video in New York. And he's hanging out with Dipset.
You're right.
He's got a song camera.
He even did the, what was it, Hustler music video. He shot that in New York.
He
You're
shot that
so
in New
right.
York. Yeah.
Oh,
it was
shit.
all
I never put that together.
strategy. It was
wow,
all
that was
yeah.
beautifully executed.
Yeah, the Carter 2 is all like, okay, I'm not with Manny Fresh. I'm rapping over Eric B and Rakim now.
And
I'm rapping, you know what I'm saying?
And I
we ate
loved
it up.
that
we
album.
ate it up. We like, he a man now, dog. Look at his chest, dog. He
cheesiest-
lifting weights.
With the white boxers and
Yeah.
yo, he was. Yo, I remember the Fireman video.
I jump up like 33. Yeah. Shh, the fireman's coming. You don't have to be quiet. The fire engines are loud. You don't.
And you know, what? And then he knew what he was doing. He said, "I got him."
Yeah.
Yo, Slim, I got
He knew
him.
the whole time.
Wow. Yo, that was such an album.
Yeah. That was an error. That was an
Bro.
error.
That was the
Yeah.
album when I was so I used to be a little, I was a little pudgy. So I used to run on the treadmill every day when I was shooting The Wire. And like if you watch the first two episodes of my season, I'm like a little pudgy. Then like later I get skinnier. I was running to this shit.
Can
This
I
and the
tell
Chris
you
Brown
something
album.
embarrassing?
What?
I'm saving The Wire.
Oh, you haven't seen it yet?
I haven't seen it, but
That's fair.
but okay. Any show that they put up as like one of the greatest shows, I'm saving for when I'm like in my 60s.
You know what? I was gonna make a joke.
'Cause-
I was like, you're saving it just before you die. But like,
My grandmother
Fair.
watches westerns all day, right?
Right.
All she does is watch old westerns, and I know some of them are repeats. I know, like, eventually she'll be in the middle of one and be like, man, I seen
this.
So I'm set, like, Breaking Bad, The Wire, Sopranos. Like, anytime somebody's like, man, this is the greatest show I ever seen, I'm like, well, I'm waiting on that.
So you just don't want to watch television. Oh well, there's plenty of bullshit.
I
to
watch stuff to be like, man, that fell off. I'm like, all right, let me get into that. Yeah. Let me not waste my last
Okay.
hours on something like yeah.
So this is my thought process on that. Honestly, and I
You've
don't
heard this before? You've heard somebody do this before?
Yeah, yes and no. Okay, so I heard like, is it Lawrence Fishburne or certain people don't watch their work, and it's
Lawrence Fishburne, I just found out, don't watch sports. They asked him what he thought about Doc Rivers. He was like, who is Doc Rivers?
okay. See,
I
that's
don't
wild.
watch sports.
But see,
I was like, man, that's crazy. When you was shooting School Days, he was the point guard of the Hawks.
oh wow,
You could have been right there at the Omni.
But see, I'm gonna be honest with you. Okay, so we'll get into that too. I don't watch a lot of sports,
Okay.
but I
This man, a Like Mike commercial.
I know, and
Hanging out with Like Mike and don't watch sports. That's crazy.
It's you know what it is. I like when I was in Atlanta, I went to a lot of Hawks games and I went to a lot of Falcons
JD
games.
used to be at the Hawks
Yeah.
games, bape down.
Yep, courtside.
Yeah,
that was
I'd be
good.
up in the 300s.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I probably saw you one of those games.
No, you didn't see me. I probably saw you. You know what I'm saying? Rarely are people looking up.
I look back every
More
once in a-
people are looking down. Like, man, there go Chris Tucker. There go JD.
Okay,
There go Terrell Owens.
do you remember the game? Iverson and J.R. Smith got kicked out. They were playing for the Nuggets.
Okay, maybe.
It was like they kicked Iverson out. And
I
then-
had season tickets the year Iverson got to the Nuggets.
Okay.
That was like my 17th birthday present.
Okay.
It was like you can see the Hawks lose like 30 times.
There you go. Here you go.
Happy
son.
birthday, you know. So yeah, that's how low season tickets were. That you could just get them like.
That's crazy.
And I had a few of them. So at school, I'd be like, "Who want to go to the game tonight?" And like I would have to convince people to go to a Hawks game. Like now, it's so easy to get people to go to a Hawks game.
Really?
It's lit.
Oh yeah, because
Boosie there.
Yeah.
They swag surfing. They doing all kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? At that time,
it was like Josh Smith, Al Horford. Who else was playing?
Josh Childress.
Yeah, like they would always be at the studio pulling up.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because like they're Hawks.
And JD would be at the game.
Yeah, he'd be at the games.
Yeah. This sounds familiar.
Yeah, but anyway, we were talking. Yeah, so I don't watch a ton of sports, but I think what it is I have my friends, like all my friends watch basketball, and all my friends are up on like the fights and all that kind of stuff. So I watch a little UFC, but like since they watch it, I know what's going on. Like I'm always hearing like I would never say who's Doc Rivers, but when you say Lawrence Fishburne though doesn't realize, I think that also is a testament that I'm too poor, because see, Lawrence Fishburne is rich enough that he doesn't have to like it. Who's hanging out with Lawrence Fishburne doing some shit Lawrence Fishburne doesn't necessarily want to do, other than his children? Right. Like, yeah, he's in his own bubble. So in his bubble, he's not turning on sports. No one around him is going to turn on sports.
Well, I think also he's in an acting bubble. He's in a thespian, like I am focused. I am.
But he's so
Furious
old now.
Styles. I am Ike Turner right now. I am only focused on Ike Turner. I am only focused on getting this Tony
But
Award.
he enjoys something. It's just probably not sports. Like I think sports. The thing is with sports, I used to love them when I was younger. Used to love sports. I think once I got older, realized okay, I wasn't gonna do anything with sports. It kind of like drifted off. But I think where I went kind of left on sports was some of my best friends are like insane sports, like basketball fans, like very, very deeply. And I look at it sometimes and I'm like, bro, we can't sit here and not miss watching another nigga make $300,000 today. And like, when you know what I mean, like now if that's your guilty pleasure at the end of the day, like oh man, I did my thing today. Let me watch LeBron get these dunks. Fair, right? But if you're not putting in, like they're already great. Their lives are good. It's time to move. Like figure out something for you so you can enjoy and maybe even go more often. Right. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just I've seen that enough times that it's made me slightly resent sports.
No, I get that. I feel like it is a time suck, and it does. There's so much into the marketing of sports to make it an everyday thing. Yeah, that it's like like you can get into this so much that you're detached from what else is going on in the world. Yes, but doing comedy on the East Coast, you are forced to miss a lot of sports.
Makes sense, yeah.
And then also, I worked in sports. I worked in like the sports department at CNN. Oh, and really? So for me to do comedy, I had to convince them I wasn't into football and basketball, and I was into golf and NASCAR, because those are the sports during the day, tennis. Right. And so they were like, "Oh, all right, he could do all the tennis, all the golf, all the NASCAR." I get off at like 6 o'clock. I can go do spots.
You're genius.
Yeah,
that's genius.
Sometimes. Not so much.
Do you like golf?
I got good at watching it professionally, but I don't play.
Oh, bro, you got to get into it.
I got to.
I'm addicted. I started June of last year. Addicted. Like that's every morning. If I don't go to the gym, I go to the driving range. Okay. It's therapeutic. It's something that you can really see, especially like where I grew up. Like, wasn't nobody playing golf, you know what I mean? So, even though I did do a PGA tour for kids, like it was on ABC.
Maestro gonna get the bag, whether he play golf or not. Maestro gonna get the bag,
and I got to meet Tiger Woods.
Golf bag. Look at that! You only meet the greats.
I was like 9.
I'm sick of you.
Yeah,
I'm tired of you. Yeah. You know, I don't really rock with golf, but I got to meet Tiger Woods. I'm not a hooper, but I was out there, dribbling with Michael Jordan when I was a kid.
I get it late. So now I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, like just when you see I see how much better I am after just 6 months or 7 months really of just being consistent.
Okay.
Man, like I'm just like, okay, like you see the growth, you see it's also a good mind challenge. Like, you know, you're never gonna hit the ball the way you want to every time. Cool. But it's like opposed to saying, oh man, I messed up my first shot. Okay, so solutions. How do we fix the second shot?
Right.
Okay, what am I doing wrong? Like if I'm hitting the ball like this, there is a reason. If I'm hitting the ball like this, there is a reason. And then the rest is just, in my opinion, just consistency. Because and that's just something with everything else. Like like it's a good game for like I said, like life lessons, and you're only playing yourself. Like,
yeah, I don't like that. I want to blame somebody.
See that?
I want to be like, dog, you missed the shot, man. You was right there by the
wide
hoop.
open layup.
Yeah.
See, that's why I don't like hooping at like LA Fitnesses and shit.
Right.
Because people be like, I'm that guy who, yes, I will be on a fast break and I'll miss the layup. You know what? I'm not getting paid to make the layup. I will try.
I said that all the time. Somebody hard foul me or something. I'll be like, hey man, we're not getting paid. Nobody here is getting paid.
Nobody here is getting paid.
Yeah.
What is this for? Are we playing for ego?
I lost money coming here.
Facts. Yikes. That's so true.
Maestro, anything you want to promote? Anything you want to tell the people?
Yes. Everybody, make sure you check out my podcast. It's called the SBI Podcast. It's on my YouTube, youtube.com/Maestro Harrell, Maestro Harrell. You can find me on Instagram at Maestro, Maestro, and you can find everything else there.
Man, thanks so much for coming on the
Appreciate
Inconsistent Podcast with Rob Haze. I really appreciate it. This has been a fun convo. For
No,
real.
bro, I've had a good time. You got to come on my show.
I'm sorry for putting my, anxiety and jealousy on you. You seem like a well-adjusted, positive person, and I'm just like, no, but like you was hating on him, right? You're like, nah, actually I wasn't. Actually, I just got in my craft and then started producing, and then I started a company, and then just got in the .com boom, made Maestro.com, and made millions of dollars, sold that, yeah.
Bro, that's the goal. The goal is really one day to be that guy, to sit there and just be like, yeah, man. So then and I did that. I had to make a pivot, but now
JD had his Bentley. I'm sitting in the back like, how do I get my Bentley? And then, I built one from scratch.
Bro, that is being in this industry. I was telling my girl the other day, I was like, being in this industry for so long, I was like, that's why. She was like, why are you so logical? She was like, everything you got to be so damn logical.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, and I was like, logically thinking, I was like, well, I'm in a business my entire life that's based on if people like you. So if I actually let my emotions feed into if people liked me, I'd be fucked in the head. Like, there's no way. So, and then all the times I've been in situations where I've done things that maybe progressed me or I thought was the right move, and people aren't very supportive of that, and then you feel like, well, am I doing something wrong? If I did that, I wouldn't move forward. So it's like when you look at all these things, you start to be like, well, maybe I'm logical because I have to look at solutions for, okay, it's not your responsibility to help me. You're right. Okay, these things don't work in my favor. I could complain about it, or I could move forward, because it is possible. Like, that's one of the greatest things living in Atlanta showed me. It's like, I'm around a bunch of black people who are under the age of 30. Bow Wow would come pick me up in his Ferrari from JD's penthouse. Mind you, JD's barely even 30. Bow Wow's like 17. Yeah. And we're moving around. He has a black card. It's showing me like, oh, wait a minute. This stuff is possible.
Yeah.
Like, people live like this. Oh, okay, we're getting on the jet with Janet now. Okay. Oh, people live like this too.
Yeah.
And then people. So the
my
realism.
Principal, my guidance counselors, my pediatrician, dentist, like all were black. Like, it was like you see black professionals,
my
like
elementary school.
I wasn't picked up by Bow Wow, but my principal had a Benz.
But here's the crazy part. Even in Chicago, my parents put me in a school that K through 6th grade, right? Black female principal, black female vice principal. All the teachers were black except for one, and her name was Miss Moriarty, and she gave us candy, and she was great.
Yeah.
And like, I'm just saying, like, so I was always surrounded. Even I didn't realize that first time I had a white teacher was in 8th grade when I was going to school in Atlanta, and I was like, oh, so I guess it's not normal to have like all black teachers, but that never really crossed my mind. You know what I mean? The LA stuff, when I come out here to do shows and stuff, like, yeah, okay, that's when I'm around white people. I go back to Southside Chicago, I'm around black professionals.
Right.
Like you said, my dentist was black. My pediatrician was black.
Yeah.
You know, like, so it changes. But like I said, they all had a Benz or something, but like, then I saw there's this level too of that. And I'm seeing past that. So you just realize at the end of the day,
I don't
bro.
even know what's past that.
Oh, royalty. Like real royalty.
Okay.
And
all right.
That's like fourth largest yacht in the world type.
Okay.
Yeah. And then
Dang,
then you
that's
realize
real specific.
you're born into that.
I don't even I don't know nothing about the top 5 yachts at all. Yeah.
I didn't either until
I'm the type that, you know, spray the champagne and then the dude that owns it be like, hey man, you gonna lose your deposit. Put that champagne up.
You lose your deposit.
Thanks so much, Maestro,
for
for coming on the
me,
show. Yeah, this has been the Inconsistent Podcast with Rob Haze.
Yes, sir. That was fun.
Yeah.
That was hella fun,
bro. Thanks so much for doing it.
Yeah,
I thought
yeah,
you
bro.
was gonna